guys, so I made a little piece about Easter. Easter was Sunday, and just kind of wrote a little spoken word slash writing piece. I don't have a computer, so I apologize if you hear this sound. That is my Braille note. I'm reading it from there, and hope you enjoy. They said he was the king of the Jews, even though he said he wasn't. They tore his flesh with their whip. Each thong had bone and iron balls to bruise and tear his flesh. Blood poured on the ground. They took purple robes and covered his eyes. They hit him, and he couldn't defend himself. They bowed down before him. All hail the King of the Jews. And they laughed like drunkards in the streets. A crowd had gathered because there was a great commotion. Half of the crowd didn't even know why they were there, but it was so exhilarating to scream the word crucify over and over. They didn't understand what they were saying. They had been taught as children that the Messiah would come, but surely this man in front of them was not the right one. He was from Nazareth, after all. Everybody knows nothing good comes from Nazareth. The Messiah was supposed to be all-powerful, relieve the Roman oppression, and all that. What could a carpenter's son really do? This man had debated with the great leaders and saw them for what they really were. He did not respect their authority, and now he would pay. He healed someone on the Sabbath, which was against the law. He claimed there was a new law. Surely now that he was being put to death, his followers would disperse, and the old law would still remain. He was forced against the vertical post, the open wounds on his back scraping against the wood. Since he was a carpenter's son, he could have built something better for himself. He could have sanded the wood and added oil until it shone, but there was no time for that, as he went and spent his time baptizing people and teaching disgusting sinners. The crowd was excited. Finally, this guy would be taught a lesson. His followers were standing with the crowd. Surely they would fall away once their king was put to death. After all, one was a traitor, and another publicly claimed he didn't know him. The nails were driven into his wrists and feet. He still wore the thorn crown because, after all, he was the king. They took his clothes. Maybe they could sell them after he was dead. Maybe they could be used to remind the Jews that the Romans were in charge. And the priests could use them to show the people what happens to those who break the law and claim to be a son of God. The Roman leader was surprised that the crowd had chosen Jesus to crucify. They wanted Barabbas set free. Barabbas, the one who would cause an uprising. But at least Barabbas didn't think he was better than the most high priests. Nails were hammered through his ankles and wrists. He was in the middle between two others, both vile criminals. Surely this guy could save himself. If he was the Son of God, he was more powerful than any man and could rescue himself. They brought him some pain reliever, but he was too good to drink it. Darkness filled the earth. God must be at work. In the days of Joshua, the sun refused to set so that Israel could be victorious in their battle. And now the sun refused to shine. God was mourning his death. His death was quick. They didn't need to break his legs. Breaking the legs would mean death would come quickly because they wouldn't be able to support their body and would not be able to breathe sufficiently. The body should have been left there to be eaten by the wild animals. That's what happened to those who broke the law. When he died, the curtain to the sanctuary tore in two. The separation between God and man was no more. Rocks split and tombs opened. The prophets rose from the grave, and everyone was surprised to see the dead man rise up. Someone asked for his body, so they stabbed him with a spear to ensure he was dead. They put him in a tomb and put guards there. They rolled a huge stone in front of it, because his followers might come and take the body. The Sabbath came and went, and the lambs of the Passover had been slaughtered and eaten. Some women came to the tomb. They had expensive perfume and wanted to honor this man by giving him this gift of service. The stone was rolled away, and a man dressed in white was sitting on it. The soldiers were so frightened they fell to the ground like dead men. The women entered the tomb and found the burial head covering folded neatly. Jesus couldn't have rolled the stone away, and the soldiers were guarding it, so his followers could not have stolen his body. Surely something must have happened. Some believed Jesus came to life, but others refused to believe. Many times the followers of Jesus would be put to death for their faith. People thought as time went on that everyone became smarter. Surely science could disprove God. It has been a good while since Jesus died, and there are still people who believe in his name. If people are willing to die for their faith, surely something must be true.